Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make a video showing you how to install the DD-WRT firmware into this router, the TP-Link TL-WR841N, and it is a wireless N300 router. As you can see here on Amazon, it is a #1 bestseller, and for good reason. The customer reviews are very high here. Here's the reasons why it's such a great seller. Number one, it's a 300 megabits per second router, which makes it pretty quick. As well, it's $18.99 shipped to your house, so another great deal. It's cheap. It actually has a 550 megahertz processor in it, so it's a fairly quick little router. For the price, you just can't beat it. Now, I've had this router for about a year now. The current revision that they're sending is 9.2, so basically it's version 9 and higher. If you order it right now, that's what you'll get. Now, reason that's actually relevant is because the DD-WRT software has to be coded to your revision version. So why would you want to go with the DD-WRT software? Well, the stock router comes with some pretty basic controls, like let's say bandwidth control. Here we are inside the stock router, and you'll see that you have some bandwidth control settings, and if you go to rule list, you get some more. But it's kind of cumbersome and kind of limited. Now, for most people, the stock firmware on this router is perfectly fine. It'll work just fine. They won't even notice. But for advanced users or more advanced users or people who like to tinker, like me, I like using the DD-WRT software because it's much more robust than this software. It even, it has QoS and a whole bunch of other tools and settings that this does not have. So let's go back here to DD-WRT, and this is the DD-WRT webpage, which is dd-wrt.com. Go to that webpage, you'll find this home page. Then we'll go to the router database, and I'll show you a few reasons why I'm only making this video now. So let's go into the router database, which is where you need to go to get this software. So I'm just going to type in WR841N, and you'll see that you get 5 entries. You'll also see that you get a revision 3, a revision 5, revision 7, and a revision 8. Well, you currently can't buy this router at any lower revision than 9. I actually got 9.2, which is still 9. You can see that, according to them here, it's not supported. Okay, so let's just go take a look at one of these. You'll see on the revision 3 that you have the web flash image first installation, then you have the back to stock, so you can actually take it back to stock, and then you have the web flash image. So it's a 2-stage process, which I will show you later on. But you do have the ability to take it back to stock. So let's go back. Okay, so there we are with all the others. And if we go, let's go to version 8.x. And then you'll see that there's not quite as much here. It actually refers you to other downloads. Let's go back again. And let's go to version 5. And you see that it has a web revert back to stock. So basically, at a certain point here, and I think it was at maybe the next step here, 7. Yeah, at version 7, they stopped giving you the option of going back to stock. Well, I like the ability to undo what I do. So in other words, if I put the if I put the DD-WRT software firmware into this router, I want to be able to take it off. Well, up until recently, I didn't know how to do that. Now I do. So I'm going to make this video showing you how to put the DD-WRT latest firmware revision of DD-WRT into this router, and I'm also going to do another video showing you how to revert it back manually yourself to the stock firmware again. So again, like I said, I didn't want to do that without being able to bring you back. So let's go here now. So we got to get the version for version 9. At least I do. And if you have version 9, get that. Whatever version you have, go to other downloads, and then over here, go to betas. So we're going to start by getting our firmware first. So under betas, you'll see that there's several years. You want 2015. My suggestion to anybody doing this, to be safe, is to hang back 2 revisions from the latest one. Why is that? Because I recently flashed my router, my other router, my WR841N to the latest revision version, and it actually bricked my router. I had to do a serial connection to it and bring it back to life, and I have a video on that as well. But if you hang back a couple of revisions, like 2 revisions here, then they figure it out at DD-WRT that their revisions are bricking the routers, and they fix them. So if you hang back a little bit, you're safer. So I'm just going to go here to the R26405 revision. So we're going to click on that, and then you get this whole great big long page. Just do a Control F, and I'm in Firefox, but I think that works on every browser, and just type in WR841N, and then you get the list of TP-Link WR841N routers. You'll notice there's a 3, there's a 5, there's a 7, there's an 8, and there's a 9. Make sure you know which revision you're working with, okay? Because I'm working with 9, and I can only guarantee you this works with 9. I mean, it probably works just fine with 8 and 7, but I can't take any responsibility for that because I can't test it. So I'm working with 9. I got actually 9.2, but 9 counts on 9.2. So we're going to go click on that. And you have 2 files. And you notice here there's no web revert. So there's no way of going back using one of their bin files. But, like I said, I'll show you how to do that in my next video. So we're going to download 2 files here. And you need both files to make this work. So we're going to download the factory to DD-WRT bin. So save it to wherever you want. I'm going to save it on a specific folder so I know where it's going to go. Save file. And I'm going to put it under here, under 841N. Actually, I'm going to go back one here. That's the version 8. Let me rename this one. Actually, I'm going to make a new one. So I'm just going to right click, create a new folder in my downloads folder. I'm just going to call it 841N for simplicity. Double click that, open it up, and save it there. You save it wherever you wish, wherever's handy for you. Next, we're going to download the second file. Like I said, it's a 2-stage process. And of course, the same folder. Now you have all the necessary firmware to do this process, to upgrade your router to the DD-WRT firmware, and you'll be updating to this revision number right here, the R26405. So next thing we need to do is go down here to your network icon. If you're on wireless like I am, or if you're wired, your icon will still be down here. Right click that and choose Open Network and Sharing Center. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change my adapter settings. All right, and I'm going to warn you right now, never ever flash your router through a wireless connection. There is far too much chances that something can go wrong, and your router will not flash correctly, and you won't be able to recover from it. 99% of the time it may work just fine for you, but that 1% can brick your router. So why take a chance? Do not flash your router through a wireless connection. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click my wireless connection, and since I got all the software I need off my off the internet at this point to do this update, I'm just going to hit disable. Okay, and that guarantees that I'm flashing the right router. I actually have more than one router on my network, so by disconnecting from wireless, I know that I can't do this wirelessly to anything, including the router I'm working on, and that all the other things on my network that I'm hooked up through wirelessly are protected as well. Now, here's my current setup, and as you can see, I got a LAN cable plugged into my laptop. Now, if you have a computer, plug it into your computer and into the port number 1 of the router. Now, I'm not sure whether each matters which one you plug it into, but I always use port number 1, which is the one next to the blue one. So LAN cable, router, hooked right in. Okay, so let's let me minimize this stuff. Oh, sorry. Back to my Open Network and Sharing Center here. Back to change adapter settings. And you notice that the local area connection, which is my LAN cable, is currently unplugged. Well, I'm going to plug it in here. And you see that it's connecting, identifying it, whatever. There it is. So your let's go look at the properties for this network connection. So go to Properties. So right click it, go to Properties, and then you get all your network connection properties. Where you want to go is here to TCP/IP Internet Protocol. Make sure it's set to obtain the IP address automatically and the DNS server address automatically, because that IP will be given to you by the router. So let's do a little status here just to make sure we're all good. And it looks like we're connected. Yep. I've got an IP address 192.168.0.100, and the default gateway is 0.1, which is where the router is. So we're going to go to that next. So now what we have is the router connected thusly, and with the cable connected to port 1, and no wireless access or connection to any other network other than the router itself. That is safe. Safety first, people. So we're going to go to 192.168.0.1, and it's going to ask us for a password. Password is admin. The default password is admin, and sorry, the default username is admin, and the default password is the same, admin. So hit OK, and we're into the TP link. Now mine's been reset to the factory default, so that's why it goes to that page. Yours are probably more than likely end up here on status. So next thing we need to do is go down to System Tools over here, Firmware Upgrade, and here under System Tools you click on Firmware Upgrade and you'll get this page. Now we're going to hit on Browse here, and it's going to go looking. So I know where I put my files, which were under the downloads and under 841N, and there's the factory to DD-WRT. Make sure you choose that one first. Okay, there is a sequence of events. You have to do it properly. So choose that one, and you notice that there's slightly different sizes here. Well, that's because there's slightly different files. So I'm going to hit Open. So there it is right there, where it should be, named correctly, and I'm just going to hit on Upgrade. And like I said, I'll show you what that looks like on the router too. I'm putting it in a little box in the corner. So upgrade the firmware. Oh, sure. Are you sure you want to upgrade the firmware? Okay. And I'm doing this real time, so you know how long it takes. And the lights keep flashing on the router normally. At a certain point in this process, it's going to reboot the router, and the reboot usually looks like all the lights go off, and then all the lights come on at once, and then it goes through this cycle of updating. Again, I'll probably be putting that on this video right on the corner. So be patient here. And this is the first of the 2 firmware updates that we're going to do. Okay, so right now I just saw the router flash all the LEDs, and it looks like it's rebooting. And the lights look like they're going back to normal at this point, but we'll wait for this bar to go all the way across just for it to be happy. Now the router changes the IP address when you go to the DD-WRT firmware. It doesn't have this. It doesn't go to 0.1 as a default IP address. It becomes 192.168.1.1. Okay, so we're going to go to 192.168.1.1. Hopefully that'll work. There we go. And the default web page when you first install DD-WRT is this one. You have to change the username and the password. So I'm just going to use the default that it was using before, which is admin and admin. Like I said, choose your own, and don't choose that one because everybody knows that one, and you don't want people going into your router. Seriously, somebody inside your router can actually flash it and trash it, so you don't want that happening. Make sure you put your own username and password in here, and that it's fairly unique. So after you've done that, click Change Password. So it says Changing Password, and ta-da! We're into the DD-WRT control panel. And you'll see, let's go here to status, and it's asking you for the username and password again because we just changed it, right? So admin, okay, in we go. And this is what I wanted to show you, that it says TP-Link TL WR841N D version 9. So everything's cool. Router name is DD-WRT. You can change that if you wish. And the build version is 26405, which is exactly where I want it to be. Everything's cool. And if you look down here, just for a kicker, CPU clock, 550 megahertz. That's pretty kicking little router for $20, for under $20. So beautiful, everything's cool. You think you're done? You're not. You need to do the secondary flash. The secondary flash actually finishes the installation. So we'll go back to here to administration, and then firmware upgrade, and then browse, and of course back to my 841 folder, and under downloads you go where you left it, and then you need to put the secondary flash file in here, which is this one here. So we're going to hit highlight it and hit open, and then it shows up here as it should. Okay, oops, and I'm just leaving that there, and then we hit upgrade. Okay, now you have an option here to reset it after you reboot, but I'm not fooling with that. I'm fine with the way it's set right off the bat. So click on upgrade, and you'll see the lights on the router start flashing again. And flash back and forth as this is going on. Again, you know, do not disconnect the middle of this. You know, just let it all ride out right to the end, because if you pull the data cable out before it should be pulled out and the flash gets corrupted, you may not be able to return it back to stock. You may not be able to return it back to anything. You may just have a $20 plastic paperweight with pretty lights on it. All right, it says upgrade is successful. Again, wait for this to reboot. Now, one thing I noticed is that on the primary flash, the wireless light wasn't even on. Okay, and I'm going to see if this actually comes back up again with the wireless on. I suspect it will. More reason to actually do it correctly and use both files. Any other way is wrong. Okay, we're back. And as you can see, everything's cool. Let's go here to wireless. And there's your, it's enabled, it's there, it's ready to go. And let's go over here. Now, if you want to see what firmware version you're running and all about the version you're on, just click on here under firmware. That is actually a link. And just click on it and it'll show you the about page. And the about page will show you that you're using 26405, you know, and DD-WRT version 2.4, blah, blah, blah. You know, basically everything you need to know about this version. I like coming up here because it's a quick and easy way to find out what revision you're using. Like I said, I stay back 2 revisions from the latest, just to be safe. Back to status. Everything's cool. If we go down here to all your different connections and you know, basically look at the difference. I mean, it's just insane. Shows you all the memory you're using, so on and so forth. Bandwidth. Here's another neat thing about it. One thing I do like about the DD-WRT software is how robust it is. It's just insanely robust. So there's your bandwidth monitoring. Another nice thing here, wireless. Nice thing about this is it tells you who's connected to you and how good a signal to them you have. So I'm going to connect to this wirelessly now just to show you that. And of course, we got to go back and turn our wireless back on anyway. So down your network connection, then open up sharing center. Network and Sharing Center. And change adapter settings. Wireless connection enable. And we'll wait for that to happen. Looks like it's happened. Let's go back over here to wireless just to do a quick connection to it. And DD-WRT, we're going to call it DD-WRT test. Like that, so we know what we're connecting to. Apply the settings. Now you got apply and saved. When you hit saved, you save your settings, but it doesn't apply them when you save them. Next time you reboot, it will apply them. But you know, if you hit apply, it's the same as hitting save, except it does it all at once. Apply settings immediately, and it does save them. You can click save if you wish. So at this point, I should have a DD-WRT test network to connect to. So let's go here. And there it is, DD-WRT, and of course it's not secure because there's no web ID or SSID password. All right, so we're connected. Of course, you know, Windows. Okay, it's a home network. Fine. Close. So again, we're there. We're connected to it. Everything's cool. We know it's working. I find out of all these settings that the wide setting, the HT40 is the fastest out of all of them. But you play with it and see what works best for you. So now let's go here to the status tab where I wanted to show you that wireless connection just for fun. Go to wireless, and it will show you that I'm connected. The client is connected, and everything about the connection, which is pretty cool. More bonuses and features. I mean, there's so much to this firmware. There's no way I could show you all of it. You know, in one sitting, it would be hours long. Basically, that's it. We are now fully connected, fully upgraded this router to the DD-WRT build version 26405, and the WR841N works great. This is version 9. On my next video I'll show you how to remove it from the router. That's it for my video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, do me a favor, click on the like button right down here. And you know, if you wish to subscribe to my channel, just click on this link up here, and that should subscribe you to the Richard Lloyd channel, or Richard Lloyd USA channel. Okay, again, thank you very much for your time and watching.